you could, because I've had to do this on Reaper. I'm assuming Audacity would be similar. You could just render one at a time, like solo one channel, render it, solo the other channel, render
Yeah,
that.
right. It's that I had thought about. It's just like actually being able to record both at once but separately.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I
because
don't
you're
have
right.
Audacity
I had that
anymore.
same thought. That's how I might render it. YouTube, Facebook, hello.
Hey guys,
Um,
that's not how you spell .com, Josh. You
I'm noticing that this is welcome behind the scenes to this before the show starts. There's a portrait mode in Restream now, so Instagram, hello, we may be coming your way here soon.
woohoo!
Because that's been the thing that's prevented me from streaming on Instagram is because it gives a nice landscape stream on a vertical platform. So if you're watching and you're like, man, I wish they were on Instagram, probably not a thought you've ever had, but in case it was, we might be able to help you out there. I think I'm good. If you guys are.
I should be good. I'm installing Audacity just to be funny.
Sounds good. All right.
As long as it doesn't say, "Hey, you need to restart your entire
Yeah.
laptop."
Check
Not
1, 2,
today.
3.
We're
I'm
good.
recording.
Let me hit record.
Oh, for syncing purposes, I don't know if this will actually help Chris. I'll ask him after it. But for syncing purposes, can everyone clap in 3, 2, 1? And that was super delayed because Discord, but close enough. He's got it. He's got a ballpark now.
He's got a clean. He's got a clean clap.
Yep. All right. I will get it started.
Welcome to the Fifth and Goal Sports Podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Aaron, Josh, and Johnny.
Welcome to the show, listeners, viewers. Good to have you here. I don't know why I said it like that. It sounded like I was about to like reprimand you. We like you. I don't know. I'm in a weird mood. I had the day off, so enjoying that. I've got a new chair, so if you're watching on stream, I'm like trying to get used to that. It's certainly an upgrade because it was turning into death chair. To quote a past time in our respective lives.
R.I.P. in peace, death chair.
Yeah, there used to be a chair when we were in college together. There used to be a chair that Johnny had in his room that looked like a functional chair, but if you sat down and leaned on it ever so slightly, you would catapult directly backwards, threatening potentially your life, your neck. So we, rather than throw it away immediately, just called it death chair and just saw how many people would fall off of it. Good fun.
It's great.
Many a freshman walked in the room and sat on death chair unknowingly.
It's college. You can see, and what we don't talk about now, as we are nearing, all of us nearing our 30th year, which I think we would all collectively.
You're about to say the end of our lives.
Final year.
That too.
It was our final year.
Basically.
Yeah.
I'm using Logan's Run rules, where 30 is dead. You can sit on a thing like death chair, and you can fall off death chair, and it really doesn't hit you. Now that we are at the end of our lives, if I don't sleep on the right side of a bed that I don't share, by the way,
Right.
that's like, it's all mine. I can't like look straight for a day.
Yeah. I understand. I'm with you. I'm with you there. Josh, and other than getting old and nearing the end of our lives, how are things going?
Doing great, except that Audacity is scanning all of my plugins and giving me security updates as I'm actively recording this session. And that's okay. I'm checking the activity monitor on my laptop. It's hot, but not too hot. It's unhappy, but compliant, which probably feels.
Aren't we all?
That feels like a good mood, aren't we all?
Yeah.
It's like when you ask a dog to like go to bed and it looks at you and then whines and then goes down really hard. Like it'll like kind of huff down. Aaron, as a famed dog owner and lover,
Right.
not allergic to any of them. I know you know this deeply.
Yes. Yeah.
That's how I'm feeling today.
Yeah.
Compliant, but I'm going to make a fuss about it as I comply.
Nice. Johnny, what's going on, man?
I'm still trying to grasp exactly what the conversation that
Fair
we're
enough.
starting off with is going on.
Fair enough.
We have to talk
I-
about Indiana, Miami again this week. We're padding.
Well, we
We're
don't
padding
we
before
don't have to
get
talk
there.
about it a lot. The fact that a college football national championship game is happening well after all of us have mentally moved on
Yeah,
is an
that-
issue we'll talk
No,
about.
no kidding.
But and we're talking about like college football junkies mentally have kind of started moving like, oh right, next year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we already got a preseason like too early top 25 going on. Like, whoa, hold on now. But I'm doing okay. It's freezing, but I do have a dog. So I have to brave the elements. And Josh, I do understand. I have to share my bed with him, I guess. So, and he is notoriously a bed hog, my golden retriever and podcast mascot.
Of course. Yeah, my week is good. Weird day for me having the day off. It's been nice. Got brunch today. That was very enjoyable.
Oh, you got the brunch?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then the here's the real secret is marry someone who is not a breakfast food person, because she'll go to brunch for the vibes, and she'll eat like, half her meal, like a big meal. So she did good. But then the leftovers, she's like, I don't want this. This is breakfast food. Well, guess who wants this? So I got brunch twice today. So I had brunch for brunch, and then for my late supper, I had also brunch. So I'm doing great. I feel like I'm properly fueled up for this episode, which is good because we have a lot of thoughts going into this episode. I want to start with what you just said, Johnny. We've moved on. College football fans, we've moved on. The season's over, except technically that's not true because, the national championship game is on in mere minutes as we're recording live. It's one of only a handful of significant issues college football is facing right now. You've got playoff expansion, you've got portal insanity, but the season is too long. And I was actually talking to my wife, about this at brunch. She's like, well, the NFL's still going on. I'm like, yeah, you're right. But that's the standard for the NFL. It's like if college basketball was 7 months long.
Right.
It's as if
it's
March
like
Madness
if they were still playing in
didn't end till
June.
July.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like what's
Yeah. Like,
what's going
I
on?
love college football. I
It's
don't
gonna be even
necessarily
longer next
need,
year.
It is going to be longer, like by a week. I don't necessarily need college football to run as long as the NFL does. And that's coming from someone who's crazy about college football. Why? Well, for one, when the NFL playoffs are on, it's kind of its own thing. That's when I tune into the NFL the most because, hey, now that we're done with this 17-game season where you can go sub 500 and still make the playoffs, these games really matter. And, there's so many different directions we can go with this conversation. If I'm talking about 24 teams making it into the college football playoff, and then all of a sudden your regular season becomes very meaningless. But just in terms of trying to stay on the path of the season is too long, my goodness, it's too long. If we have to keep it this length, which I don't think we do, but the people in charge think we do, can we at least start it a couple weeks early and then end on January 1st at the Rose Bowl? Can I
Yes.
have one thing in life and when it comes to college football that I want? I don't know. I'll make that top of my list. I guess I don't know, other than shrink the playoff again, but that's never happening.
So, because this is kind of the last podcast that we'll talk about college football for a while, not that we ever take a full break
And that was
of
a
college
lie.
football, because of course we'll talk a little bit about the national championship outcome next week, but it'll be a week away, like a week after at that point. So, we're not going to spend a lot of time on it. And I just put down for our college football notes for this episode, pick a person or topic that's caught your eye because so much ridiculousness is happening. But one thing that I like to do, and we like to do on the podcast too, is like have a solution, not just
Right.
complain. And I think that's what's so frustrating about many of the issues in college football right now is the lay person can at least make improvements upon these issues. at the very least. Maybe they can't outright fix all of these issues because they are all interwoven, but the average person could fix like many of these problems. And so let's talk about the calendar, Aaron. You're absolutely right. There's two easy reasons to fix the calendar. And let's just start with the schedule. First off, like, I'm sorry, we don't need 4 weeks between the end of the regular season and the start of the playoff. That's insane. The NFL starts right away. The bye is no longer. The reason why the bye is not helpful is because it's unneeded, because everyone's getting a bye. You're just getting a double bye in addition to that, and it's not advantageous at all, especially because you don't even get the home game then. So we can talk about the home game too, but let's just stick to the schedule. After Army Navy, the playoff needs to start the next week, immediately. And the season needs to be moved up a week as well. It does actually need to be on week 0 is when we need to start. A week before Labor Day weekend is when we need to start. Like, I'm sorry, that's just what it needs to be. Schedule your FCS opponents, if you will, on week 1 and keep Labor Day week 2 as your main non-conference opponents if you want. Whatever, we can deal with FCS opponents another time. Move it up a week and start the playoffs as soon as you can. I'm okay leaving Army and Navy alone for their week, if you will. That's it. But I also would not be opposed to having to maneuver Army and Navy, because the whole college football system cannot revolve around one game. So if we have to tweak that to give it its own time slot, so be it. Maybe that can be the noon game. We have to move it up in the day, and we have playoff games later that day. That's fine too. But we have to move this up to start when week 0 is. Everybody needs to be playing. And then we have to get this started as soon as possible so that we can end on New Year's Day, Aaron. And that's feasible. And we're frustrated because it's so feasible. We just give so much dead time in between. And everyone says the bowl games. We love bowl games. Put them on the weekdays. We do that now. Put all of them on the weekdays. It doesn't matter. That's inventory. And most of these bowl games have been played on weekdays, and they got insane numbers this year. And they still will, because people are still in football mode. People will watch the football games. They'll watch the bowl games during the week. It's very similar, easy to fix this calendar. And then the only other thing, well, I shouldn't say the only other thing. The last thing I'll say right now to fix the calendar is the transfer portal. Like, let's just talk about it. Yeah. And I want to hear what you guys have to say. And SEC coaches, it has been reported, are basically the ones who whined and moaned to get this as the transfer portal window instead of it being in the spring. That's idiotic. I don't care that you want guys that are going to be in your roster for spring ball. Does that suck? Yeah, it sucks. But what makes the most sense? Having a spring transfer portal, having it in April or May, and that is the only time for transferring. That makes the most sense. It just does, because that prevents that being one of the excuses for college coaches to have to leave right away. And that fixes teams that are still playing, having guys transferring while they're still in the tournament. It's madness. Basketball's actually already fixed this. They announced that this season that portal will not open until the March Madness tournament is over. What a novel idea.
Oh, perfect.
So
easy.
Yeah. Easy. It's easy. And so you might not like that you have players that you probably don't think will be on your roster next year. And we can talk about some of that other stuff that could fix those issues as well. But it makes sense with the academic calendar. It makes more sense with everything else. That window would be in the spring. That's when it should be. That's where it belongs, especially if you can't end the season by January 1st. But you have to, if you're going to keep a winter window for your transfer portal, gosh, you have to have the season over at the 1st. You have to. Mm-hmm. It's madness not to. And it's so plain and obvious. But I've gone on a rant now. So what are you guys What are your guys' thoughts on the schedule, on the portal, like
No, absolutely.
the idiocy?
The current portal does not reflect. I'm going to use a term that really was weaponized back like a decade ago. The idea of these are still student athletes, and this was
Oh,
used
they
to
still
deny
think
them
that, Josh.
basics. And here's the thing:
They're fighting tooth and
I
nail.
don't know, but here's the thing: functionally, you determine what someone believes by how they act, and they're not acting like these are true student athletes because the transfer portal does not follow the semester, the academic calendar. State lines across state lines, you're going to have without about a week of variance, maybe 2 weeks of variance between these academic schedules. LSU might start a week earlier in the spring semester than Tech. I don't know. I don't have it in front of me.
Sure.
The portal doesn't care. The portal, not only does the portal not care at this point about the playoffs, they don't care about the fact that these are still academic institutions. And the problems come from the portal, to a degree, has to finish kind. Even then, it didn't even work this year because you had people leaving and they're transferring basically like mid-semester. As a grader, they're starting to transfer like past the drop date for some of these classes.
Yeah.
You're running into massive issues. And listen, we can talk about COVID eligibility too. I think that's phasing itself out. I'm just gonna deal. Someone sued for
Oh
a
my
6th
gosh.
year. It's not even worth mentioning. He probably gets a
Ugh.
penny every time.
Give them all
Oh, no, he
5
does.
years. Just everybody
5
gets
years.
5. No
Five.
more medical red shirts. And this is not my idea. So many people have said this. Just everybody
not
gets
new.
5 years, and it does not matter. No grad transfer, no medical red shirt, no none of that. Just you get 5 no matter what. Sorry if you were hurt for 3 of them. You have 5 years.
Yeah.
Sorry, Josh.
No,
But
absolutely.
another
Absolutely.
easy solution.
Here's easy solution. All of this comes down to we have been living in the Wild West where the powerful teams, the powerful institutions who can throw their weight around are throwing their weight around. SEC, even though they didn't do well in bowl games this year, we talked about that last week, still have the soft power, so to speak, to throw some weight around and get their end game accomplished, which in this case is a portal that favors aggressive trades. Essentially, they're trying to mimic these weird trade deadlines that you see in, or not weird trade deadlines. They're weird when it's college, but you have these types. It's simulating the pro sports, which again does not factor into the fact that technically, and I know it's the loosest form, I know that functionally everyone's taking Swahili. This was discussed a decade ago. To keep it with the school's one spring transfer portal in, like, I don't know, whenever, I don't care.
Put it in May.
Yeah,
Put it in May.
Yeah.
Or you could
Oh,
even
it'll get-
have it earlier. Put it in April, and they can declare that they're leaving, and then they just don't
Yeah.
actually leave until the semester's over.
Right.
There we go. That's perfect.
And there's no,
That's-
well, I shouldn't say there's no football activity, but
every
there's
person who's ever, everybody who's ever gone to a school, I'm even talking like high school, undergrad, grad, all of this, you have a time, you have it, it's in March and April, and you have to register for your classes. And it's a set period of time, and it's the upperclassmen get first picks, and then everybody else, generally, they get a different date, and you just pick it. Upperclassmen get portals, and these are solved issues. The problem, the issues we're talking about at a 30,000-foot view have already been discussed by every academic administrator in the country. Every registrar in the country has figured this out. Every academic advisor has figured this out. We're making it more complicated than it has to be. Tie it to the school, to the academic calendars, and you get a lot of this solved. This also would require the NCAA to add some sort of enforcement measure, but...
Which is the crux of the issue.
And that's
Aaron,
the
what do you
issue.
got?
It's
What
Nick's
do you-
right, because the NCAA either is unwilling or unable or
Both.
uninterested
It's both.
in actually, because we could talk about this. We talked about this vaguely with NIL. People have asked me, "Hey, do you guys like that? Some guy can get $5 million?"
I get asked it all the
I
time.
don't care. Yeah, well, you guys were in favor of NIL, so I'm like, I'm not in favor of the Wild West. It's a
Right.
great movie, but it's not. It's
Yeah, there are a lot of people like, well, you,
the market-
you guys
if the
wanted kids
market-
getting paid, and look what you got. None of us asked for this.
none of us asked for this.
And I will reiterate, as we have mentioned on this podcast multiple times, the players are getting taken advantage of
Yeah.
in this system right
Yes.
now
Yep.
with these
This is still
predatory,
not a player
unregulated, unlicensed agents taking well beyond what any percentage of a legitimate agent would ever take
Mhm.
of their clients' earnings. And they're giving them terrible advice. And how many, Aaron, do you remember the number in the transfer portal? What was it, like 4,000
Just
people?
within
Am I
FBS, I believe. It was close to 4,000. The last number I saw.
4,000? And I'd love to know, because the portal is closed, but it's closed for entering it. So we will not know for, I don't know, maybe a month how many people actually found a landing spot. And I'm telling you now, it's not 4,000 kids.
No, there's going to be 1,000 kids
how
left.
many of them exactly? So how many of them are getting horrendous advice from people who have no idea what they're talking about? And so
Truly.
that's, I think when people say, "Oh, we need to regulate this," they think, "Oh, you don't want kids to, you don't want capitalism. You don't want kids to make as much money as they can." It says, no, I also just don't want to only take care of the guys who can go get a $5 million NIL deal. I want to take care of the guys that are at Bowling Green and Western Kentucky, which I don't know why I picked those two that are both
in
Bowling Green. Yeah. But I want to make sure that those players are taken care of too, and that they are getting that 4-year education that their scholarship is supposed to be allowing them to have if football doesn't work out. And I don't want them to lose their opportunity to play football. Where, Aaron, you said 1,000 student athletes, like, they don't know that they just unnecessarily ended their football career.
Yep.
And they chose to do it. So we want regulations because this is not good for anyone. It's not good for,
No.
except for the guys. Well, I shouldn't say not good for anyone. It's really good for predatory agents and people looking out for their own self-interest and not for the
It's
good of
for
the
about
players, the
it's good for about a
sports,
dozen
the
people. Yeah.
Yep. Yes. And that's it. And it's not good for anyone else. But why would we be talking about these things if we were in charge when we could be talking about expanding the playoff again?
Oh, yeah.
Which is how they're spending all of their
Hey,
time.
And
if
that
we
was my
expand the
thought.
playoffs, then we can have. What if here's an idea? Because next year we already, because these TV deals we're
No,
talking about
Josh,
this,
we
and it's
don't
gonna
know.
have to be-
We have till
We don't?
Friday, I think. They
could've
have
sworn
till
I saw
Friday.
multiples. Till Friday.
I
Okay,
think
we
it's.
still
I
have
think they
time.
have till Friday. Yeah.
We still have time. Early reports are suggesting. That sounds pretty official. Early reports are suggesting, I feel like, yeah, Rappaport right there, that it's what, the 25th,
That everyone's stupid?
27th
Is that what it's saying?
of January. Yeah. Early reports are saying you're dumb.
Yeah, it's
They have until Friday.
it's
I
bad.
think.
An anonymous
And
source
I'm
says,
praying that they can't come to an agreement. As I think even expansionists are agreeing with this. But the irony is, this is what all of us who were against expansion told you. Part of the reason we were against it wasn't just that we were against 12, which we were, but we knew it wouldn't end. Like, we knew it wouldn't end. The NFL has been talking about getting rid of the bye for the 1 seed now that they've done it for the 2 seed, but they've seen that, man, or how bad are those 7 seeds in the playoff? I think they've won 1 time since they started implementing that game. And they also see all these quarterback injuries and everything, and they want to make sure that the good teams get through. So they haven't done it yet, but they've been talking about it. And college football's like, yeah, of course, let's do it. Let's expand this playoff. Let's play till February.
Yeah.
Aaron, do you want to talk about how awful it is, or
No.
are you just beside yourself?
I mean, like, it's hard for me to formulate a thought other than like, we told you so. Like, we probably like I try not to go out of my way to to kick and yell and scream about this every week, even though like it would be very easy for me to do so. Like we've gone past the point of just utter delusion and said in the Big Ten, and I'm as someone who roots for a team in the Big Ten, I'm looking at you guys especially. 24 teams, really? You know what?
Tony
Let's
Battiti.
just start the
That's a
season
war
in a
crime.
bracket of 128. If you lose in the first round, tough. That's a lot of practice to play one game in a year, but you know what? It's the sacrifice we have to do to make everyone feel like they've got a spot and a chance to compete in the playoffs. I mean, what are we doing? What like
Hey, that's how you
It's
make
the
every
definition of
this
a
is how we
participation trophy.
Yeah.
We reclaim any given Saturday, and it's the entire thing.
It's
a
every
little bit more
Saturday.
spring
It's
ball,
literally
every
every Saturday of the
Saturday.
entire year.
Yep.
That's gonna go.
I
over
love
so
it,
well.
Josh.
What if I told you that was what it was
This
before,
is-
but in a fun way? I mean, I don't know. Like I
Josh, this is a great idea.
think it's all of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
bad
wouldn't-
things
wouldn't-
happening at once right now in college football that like
It's
I'm
playoffs,
just
but it's
super bummed
regional
out.
based. They have their
Like it's just not
Yes.
like I should be excited for this game tonight. Are you kidding me? Indiana and Miami in the national championship game, and I'm
fantastic.
just so meh about it. Like, and maybe it's because
it's
Ohio's
not
like
because
10
of those two
degrees right
teams.
now, but like, right, it's not because of the teams, it's not because of the storylines.
It
As
is-
much as
we
Paul
are also
Feinbaum
deep
wants
in
to
January
say,
sads, but-
wants to say something dumb about the SEC or sorry, about Indiana and how, well, who's going to care about this? This is a one-off. Like, Feinbaum, go away. Like, I shouldn't even be like articulating what he said on air because it was so stupid. Like, it's sad that we've gotten to this point on something that was so easily preventable, and like it didn't take foresight to realize we'd end up here. You know what I mean? Like if you go back to our episodes from
Yes.
3 or 4 years ago, we are giving the warning signs of where we are now. And look, I don't mean to make it all doom and gloom. Like I hope that you're excited for the national championship. I'm not saying, wow, Aaron's sad about college football, so I guess I should be too. No, enjoy it tonight. Like I'm still going to enjoy this game. Like we'll end the show. We'll go right into the national championship. I hope it's a great game. Regardless of who wins, awesome storyline. It'll probably be Indiana. Like that's just unbelievable. But it's like, guys, look back on this regular season. What were some of the top games in the regular season? I mean, like, do this exercise if you're listening to this game. What were some of the best games in the regular season? I just want you to think
Oregon,
about that and see if you can
Yeah.
I want to see if you can think of any that were like, whoa, that really shook college football. Because
Yeah.
it's hard to. Because why? Because we drained some of that urgency and excitement and we put it all in January. Why? Because money told us to do so. Like, it sucks, but I feel like that's where we are right now. And if that's your product is the same, not the same as your product is more similar to the NFL than ever before, where none of your games in the regular season have a ton of meaning. Doesn't mean they're not good, doesn't mean they're not fun to watch, doesn't mean they're not entertaining, doesn't mean that there's good quality football. But in terms of just the do or die, it's all January. So is the NFL. What does that mean? And Josh, to your point about trying to line up some of the transfer portals with what you might traditionally see like a trade deadline in pro sports, what are you doing? You are shaping your sport to be more like a pro sport, but it's not. It's worse. So what are you doing? You're creating just a minor league.
Yep.
And I don't want that. If I want minor leagues, I can watch the UFL. I can watch the G League. I can go to a minor league baseball game, and I will, and I'll enjoy it, especially, well, we'll talk about that later. But that's what you're creating. You're creating a product that is more similar than ever to the NFL, but not as good, and sucking the life out of it in the process. So, like, I'm kind of doom and gloom, but I'm just sharing my thoughts. Like that's kind of where I'm at.
Yep. And TV ratings, everybody always points to, well, look at the ratings. Those are downstream
Do you own
of
stock
decisions.
in ABC? What do you care?
Yeah. Also,
about
why do
TV
you
ratings?
care?
Right.
Why do you care? Josh is
Why-
absolutely
why is
right.
Why is everybody? Paul
It's always
Feinbaum these days?
downstream from decisions, like
Yeah.
years, maybe even a decade. It's
Why is everybody
you don't
unironically
get the
going, "What about the
ramifications
shareholders?"
tomorrow. Yeah, it's literally, but the shareholders, not the
Oh my gosh.
shareholders. Like Josh is right, but we should move on.
We should move on. That was what a happy ending to the college football season. That doesn't
my
end tonight.
gosh.
So let's hope the national championship is good and paints a
Okay,
nice
good.
picture.
We switched that way. Otherwise, I'm quoting Hegel. So let's,
The divisional round wasn't any happier for me, Aaron.
Yeah.
I hated
Oh,
this
yeah, it's not the-
weekend.
I'm
This
gonna pull Hegel
weekend
right back out.
sucked.
So
I
This was
hated
a-
it. I hated
this was a-
everything that happened.
my
All
boss
of
comes
it.
in today from Chicagoland. Like,
Oh,
poor guy. He's like,
actually,
I don't
those
know how
guys
many
can't be
emotions
too
I-
sad. What a
No,
year.
they get it. What a year.
Yeah. What a
So
year.
sad.
They did have a great,
The-
yes, but
the
they had a
Caleb-
great
the
year.
The Caleb Williams experience was going to end like this at some point.
Yeah.
It's still sad.
Yeah.
This was inevitable. It doesn't make it any less sad, but it does mean it's like at some point. At some
Yeah.
point.
You can't just keep pulling it out of your butt, every single week. And it looked like they did it again.
oh my god.
I mean, credit to him. I mean, what a play. I will say this, and Aaron, maybe Ben Johnson is your guy. Maybe not anymore. Man, we have lost our collective minds. Kick a freaking field goal. You win.
No.
Yeah.
You
No.
win the game.
Nerd.
If
I
you
win
kick
like a
field
nerd.
goals.
I win like a nerd. I win like a little baby if I took a field goal. You know who
Kick
kicks
a
field goals?
freaking
Losers.
opening drive, man.
Yeah.
It's a great opening drive. Your wide receiver drops what is potentially a touchdown. It was a little high, whatever. And instead of just like, hey man, really good opening drive, let's kick a field goal, go up 3. You're like, no. It's like what a child would do on Madden. It's ridiculous.
Knows
You
what a
win
smart
that
guy would
game.
do.
You're tied 17 apiece going into overtime. Points are valuable.
Well,
Just kick a field goal.
either that or be consistent. When you score that miraculous touchdown that you pulled out of an unmentionable place, go for 2. Be consistent. Like, I think the Bears go for 2. I think they just win. It was in the water this year for them. I think they win. They go for 2.
We have lost our minds.
Yeah, it's one thing if you're going.
I'm yelling at the TV and I don't care who wins.
Right.
Kick a field goal.
Yeah, obviously he's cut from the Dan Campbell cloth. So, the apple's not falling far from the tree
gosh.
there. But yeah, it's not like he was going for it on 4th down to not punt. I think that's one thing. It's
Right.
It's turning down points. Like, I also wonder, like, obviously first year for Ben Johnson, even though that game didn't end up in the right way for them in overtime, by all accounts, huge success. I wonder, has he just not mentally made it there from the Lions last year where they had to score 40 points against everyone to beat? Like, the Bears defense was not bad. Like, you actually didn't have to score
good.
40 to I mean, like, it wasn't like the 85 Bears, like everyone loves to quote. But
It was fine.
it was fine. Like, you didn't need to do that. Your defense was playing so well this game. And that's what happened against Green Bay. He went for it a bunch in the first half. They got down. And then his defense showed up in the second half. And that's kind of really why they won that game. So some lessons learned, first-year head coach. Man.
You could argue, Aaron, they give up so many points though because they keep going
sure.
for it on. Like, part of the reason they're down so much early in these games is because they don't take the points. They keep going for it on 4th down. So then they get to the second half and they have to score a touchdown and they have to go for it on 4th down. Like, it's self-perpetuating. Like, man, I can't believe we're always down in the 4th quarter. I can. I absolutely can. That's your game script. Like,
Right.
and it's worked out this year, but it won't always. Like, that's one of the statistics everybody points to in the offseason is like, that won't happen next year. So I think they won the most one-score games ever in
that's
NFL
crazy.
history this year.
Well,
I
and that what
believe.
happened to the Vikings
Something like
a few years ago, and then they kind of fell off after that. Well, no, that's not
Right.
true because actually that was 2. Anyways, you're right. We'll see what they do with the first place
Yeah.
schedule next year. That will be a true test. But at least, even though that game ended with a Caleb Williams interception, his third of the game, the progression from him rookie year to sophomore year,
outstanding.
if you want to call it that, that went about as good as possible. So I think if you're the Bears, I know that was not a fun way to end that game last night, but I would remain optimistic, especially considering some of the other, teams in that conference. You've got, the Packers are like, what the heck are we doing? The Lions are hired an offensive coordinator that no one seems to like, so that's great. The Vikings are, without a quarterback, it seems like, so, or at least a competent one. We'll see what happens there. So, I mean, the division, I think, is still yours for the taking, potentially, if you're Chicago. Let's talk about the other overtime game. Buffalo loses to Denver. How we feeling? Was it an interception? Let me just ask you guys that question first. Was it an interception?
No.
Yes.
Are you saying yes because I said no, Josh, or because you actually think it was an interception?
Yeah, you can't verify this. I did wait for you.
I
did
knew
wait
it.
for you to answer first.
I knew it. Okay, so here.
Chris,
let
please
me,
put us together in the live cut.
If this was the Kansas City Chiefs or the New England Patriots, they never ever would have called that an interception. Also, I've never seen that play called an interception before. I might actually even agree that it's an interception. I might be able to get there. I've never seen it officiated that way. And then for it to basically happen the next day in the Rams-Bears game, and they do call it a catch.
Yeah, right.
The poor Bills fans. I said this was the worst possible outcome of this game in general.
Truly,
this is the fact that the Broncos win controversially and their quarterback's out.
Gone. This is the true, first off, not an interception. Established, down,
thank you, Josh.
Establishing. But again,
Aaron, what were you?
But again, the NFL has this historically, because this angle only 1 foot before the wrestling starts. So if you're going to follow that stupid NFL rule of 2 feet has to make a catch, he didn't in college. That's not an interception. In the NFL, you grab your favorite coin and you flip it.
Just do backyard rules.
Two-face.
Do over.
Yeah, jump ball. We need jump balls.
You can't agree.
Yeah,
backyard rules. Do over. Redo the play. Let's go again.
Yep.
Aaron, did you think it was a catch or a pick?
I don't know what it was because the rule book is so maybe Terry McCauley can convince me that based on the rule book, this was the correct call. I don't care. I saw.
We need to get rid of those officials too.
Sure, we need to get rid of the people in the booth.
We've talked about this. We've done this a lot. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know what it was. I just know that it was wildly inconsistent one game from the next. So either it needed to be an interception in both games or it needed to be a catch in both games. I would have rather it been a catch. I don't think if it's the Patriots or the Chiefs, well, maybe the Chiefs, but I'm going to push back on the Bills being like the NFL hating them because if you're just thinking from a ratings perspective, do you really want to get rid of Josh Allen, who was probably most people's rooting favorites of the teams? Like if you're just a neutral, viewer, there's not some plot to get rid of the Bills. However, there is just stupid decisions by a league that has billions of dollars flowing into it that they can't make their own referees full time. That's where the stupidity is, and that's how you get to ridiculous things like this, where there's no consistency. Like the first pass interference against the Bills, I thought was bad.
Oh.
Second one, fine, I could be convinced of that, but the first one was terrible. That was not how the game was called throughout the game. Like just no consistency whatsoever.
The Bills had that worse non-call pass interference on their would have been a game-winning drive instead of game-tying drive against Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
Aaron, you're right. It's the inconsistency. But then also, did you see the statement afterwards that makes them look worse? that they basically ask if they want to review it, and they say, no, we need to keep the game moving along, basically. Because the game was already in overtime and it's
the
going.
Next game's going to start. Yeah.
That looks horrible.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not even about, is there some conspiracy against the Bills or not? The NFL has a major issue, especially with the gambling going on now. They have a massive image issue when it comes to these calls. It's a big problem because it appears really, really bad when in the first quarter, you're going to measure whether it's and replay, whether it's 2nd and 2 instead of 2nd and 7 on a catch, but you're not going to take the time to make sure the most critical call of the game is correct on a catch or interception. They didn't even review it.
Yeah,
that was mad. That was madness.
Yeah,
it was madness. I felt terrible for Josh Allen and the Bills.
Oh man, I mean the press conference, him crying, his teammates crying, like, yeah, that's rough.
And to just hand them 55 yards of penalties.
Yep.
In the overtime drive for the Broncos, like, I'm sorry, like nobody wants it. Aaron, you said it. That's not how the game had been called, and it was a beautiful game before that. And yes, I know there were a lot of turnovers and stuff, but it was a highly competitive, really great game to watch. And then it's like, okay, like as a neutral fan, you're ticked off. Yep. Nobody wants the game decided by that. Unless a receiver is basically dragged to the ground, you don't want them throwing that flag.
Yeah.
And that's maddening.
Yep.
There should be a couple. Bo Nix is hurt too.
Well, Bo Nix is hurt. Let's talk about the fallout. One comment before we do. If you are a quarterback and you just wildly underthrow the ball, your receiver's trying to get back to it and it gets pulled down, we have to have a rule where there's got to be an underthrow rule.
Stop.
If you throw the ball so poorly that, like, being a defender is a tough job. If the ball is like underthrown by 10 yards, I'm not saying you should be able to tackle the guy, but you should be able to get away with a lot. Like, I don't know how to fully litigate that, but that's just a thought. So let's talk about the fallout. Let's start with the Bills, because the news today is Sean McDermott done, which I was shocked by.
Stupid.
Not the right move.
And Brandon Beane elevated.
Well,
the guy who can't put together a competent roster around Josh Allen.
Right.
It's
that's
a
where
lot
the
of
problem
coaches
is.
getting fired and not enough GMs.
I would agree, Josh.
Yeah.
I would 100% agree.
Yes.
So
the Browns fans all echo that sentiment.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Everybody from the Browns and Bengals and Cowboys have all said yes, please.
Yeah. So some research done by Benjamin Solak on Twitter. Only 4 teams in the Super Bowl era have won a playoff game in 6 consecutive seasons. You have the 91-96 Cowboys. Of course, they win 3 Super Bowls in that time. You've got the 2011 to 2018 Patriots, won 3 Super Bowls. The 2018 through 2024 Kansas City Chiefs won 3 Super Bowls. And, of course, the 2020 through 2025 Buffalo Bills, no Super Bowls reached. So that is part of this.
Sad.
I think the other part that I've not seen anyone say, and I'm curious if you agree with me, I don't know, comment on this podcast or YouTube channel, whatever. I wonder, is a part of this, if you're Buffalo, looking across your division, seeing the New England Patriots, which tortured you for 2 decades, seeing what a first-year head coach is doing in Mike Vrabel, seeing that they are likely going to a Super Bowl because of the aforementioned injury to Bo Nix, and saying, we can't have this happen again. We need to change now. I'm not saying it's a good decision. I'm just wondering, was that part of the thought process for the Bills when they see a team in their division that beat them in the division this year in the regular season and is probably heading to a Super Bowl? I don't know.
Maybe.
But I wonder.
Josh Allen also had nobody to throw the friggin' ball to
by
the end of the season.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying you have to go pay a wide receiver the way the Bengals do, but look at that list of wide receivers he had to throw to, especially when injuries are considered. And that there's a reason he was only throwing it to Kincaid and Knox basically at the end of those games successfully. And those are his tight ends. Like there's a reason.
Yep.
Like that's and that defense, like I actually think the defense showed how well coached of a team it was, because you looked at the roster of who they had left and you're like, oh dear God, like how are they going to be able to hold up against anyone. And they actually did a half decent job, I thought. So I guess I would have understood it more if you fired Bean. Like, that's, to me, like, if you had fired both of them, then I would have kind of, all right, like, I guess that makes sense. But to only, and the locker room clearly is angry about it and does not agree.
Oh yeah.
So that's its own
Nobody-
issue too,
yeah.
when it's like, oh no, everybody liked
Yeah.
McDermott a lot. So, but
And-
yeah, and then the fallout.
And the timing's bad
for
too,
New England.
because if you're
Yeah,
Buffalo,
you missed Harbaugh.
You missed Harbaugh. I mean, I know there's some decent options still left in this coaching cycle, but I don't know.
Could I interest them in a Zach Taylor?
Pete Carroll?
Who?
Just kidding. I don't know. I want Josh Allen to succeed. I hope that the Bills kind of throw our words back at us. I don't think
I hope
that
so.
that will happen, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, but the other fallout is Bo Nix breaks his ankle at the end of that game, which is just brutal. Like, Broncos fans have
It really
had
is.
a couple.
It makes it worse, man.
Oh,
It makes
it's-
the whole thing worse. Everyone now
Everyone
is
would
like,
joke.
why didn't Buffalo just win then?
right.
like,
Yeah.
like,
No, this is the true materialization of I hope both teams lose.
yeah.
If you are
Yes.
if you are equally a Bills and Broncos hater, which is a choice,
That's weird.
this-
That's a weird dual hatred.
it's a weird dual hatred. It statistically, someone has to be this.
Well,
Yeah.
someone that
Yeah.
hates
Having a
mascots
great-
that start with the letter B. So the Bengals also hate.
Hate Americana, the American bison, and a Beautiful
anti-equine,
horse.
anti-equine, anti.
oh bovine, equine and bovine, anti.
Oof.
Anyway, sorry.
Anti. Pro Vine coming back.
Yes.
That's a stupid joke. So equally as stupid as that's dumb. I'll call it out now. You don't have to put it in the comments. I know that was dumb. Nobody likes that. They picked up a guy who hasn't taken
Well,
a snap.
it's
since
Jared
22.
Stidham's going to be playing.
Yeah.
Like, good old Jarrett. Yay.
Bring it back on. Maybe.
I mean,
times
despite
8.
Nick Foles' optimism, which that was a wonderful tweet, in a very
Massive.
dark weekend, a very, very dark weekend, Nick Foles was a glimmer of hope.
Yeah.
I mean, I had an awful sports weekend, just dreadful. And part of it is because, man, do I loathe New England sports. Oh, I loathe them. And am I just jealous and bitter? Absolutely. Absolutely. They don't deserve this. They don't deserve this at all. This is ridiculous. I mean, this is the most, you want to call other championships Mickey Mouse fake? This is the definition of a fake Mickey Mouse title run if they get there and win. Do you know how many teams that finished over 500 the Patriots played in the regular season this season? One.
Yeah.
They played the Bills twice. That's it. That is it. The combined record, 85 and 150. It's the worst record in 3 decades. And they get to basically play the 5th string offensive line, and it's the Chargers anyway. Anybody wants to play them in the playoffs. That franchise is snake bitten. Then you get to play. Oh my goodness. Like, CJ Stroud turns it over 1 billion times. CJ, man, that hurt my soul to watch.
Yeah.
And, Drake May literally turned it over 4 times himself.
And no one's talking about
He
it.
was also terrible.
Yep.
He was also terrible. He wasn't even good against the Chargers. They just ran for 1 million yards. And Justin Herbert looked like he might actually die on the field because of his offensive line. And now they get to play the Broncos with no quarterback. they have Jarrett Stidham. Man, I am praying whoever comes out of the NFC just slaughters the Patriots in the Super
that
Bowl
guy?
because
Remember
I
that guy,
am
like-
sick and tired of their success.
There are kids who are in second grade who have not seen a Patriots
That's right.
title run like this. All right. Also, someone tweeted. I wish I had the tweet up. I would take me too long, and it would be equally as unfunny as the previous joke I tried. He said, "This weekend is proof that karma doesn't exist, because why
Yes.
do the most awful sports fans in the States, Boston, continually have this level of success, and not just Patriots, among the entire greater Boston area professional teams?
Yeah. If you are like
Nobody
me
likes that.
and you were wondering, well, wouldn't most Super Bowl runs come against, teams that were not as good? The answer is technically sort of yes, because on average, more Super Bowl winning teams have a combined opponent's record of sub 500, but we're talking like in the 300s. So it is significantly worse than most of your traditional Super Bowl winning teams. They've got 2 wins to still in front of them if they want to make a Super Bowl happen. But Johnny, I can understand where you're coming from on that. I don't hate this New England team. I like too many of the players on this team, Drake May included.
I'm actually frustrated because of that.
Yeah,
I
sure.
actually don't
Because
hate
they're likable,
Vrabel
and
or
it's like,
May
what-
or
Could they have
Henderson.
could this group have gone anywhere else?
Yeah,
It actually makes it worse.
sure.
I love
Like
Drake,
that I
Drake May,
don't
May.
hate the players and the coaching staff.
Yeah.
It's like, could you
It is
just be in like not Tampa? Could you just be in Jacksonville or
Yeah.
or Seattle? Given Seattle might win anyway.
Oh
Ooh, my goodness.
Oh my. Yeah.
You guys think LA or Seattle new favorite? Ugh.
I think only because we'll get to that picks of the week here shortly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we mostly touched on everything other than Buffalo could hire Mike Tomlin, Josh. That's a possibility.
Yes. What a possibility. Hey,
I didn't say likely possibility. I just said a possibility. They could hire me
could
too.
possibly they could hire you.
Yeah.
Ooh.
How's Harbaugh feeling this morning, you think?
Well, I think it depends on if the Giants give him what he wants, but I think he's pretty set, it sounds like.
Well, but I get what you're asking. Like, does he wish almost he would have waited a few
Oh,
days
sure.
and the
He
Bills'
probably-
job is
yeah, no
open?
question.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't see why you wouldn't pick that job instead.
even-
if
or even
a
like
job open, like I don't know if they would have offered Harbaugh the job. I don't know that for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. Yeah, the Steelers have only had 3 head coaches in their franchise history. Which, when someone told me that this week after the Tomlin news broke, I'm like, that's not
In the past 50 years.
real. Yeah, sorry, yeah. I should clarify in the
They've
Super
had
Bowl
more.
era or whatever. But anyways, that's absurd. Interesting to see what
Yes.
they do there. All right, I'm good to pick if you guys are. We'll move into that. We'll see if these
Yeah.
Rams are actually going to do a thing.
Sometimes the guys make picks based on their vast knowledge of sports. Sometimes they make picks based on vibes.
Josh, why do you like journalism specifically?
Because it's a concept, and it's like, I don't know. I just think for me, it's like a horse learning how to not only write and edit, but also like do like some sort of like in-field reporting. And I just like the idea of a horse with a little voice recorder.
Holds a mic up
and
to
like
the
a
other
pen.
horses.
Either way, they're probably going to be wrong. It's time for Picks of the Week.
Well, we got a lot to cover. We just talked about all the NFL. And that continues because we did make NFL playoff picks at the beginning of the bracket, and we're doing okay. Well, I'm doing okay because I've got both the Rams and Patriots in my Super Bowl matchup, with the Rams beating the Patriots. So I'm trying to hang on to that because I need some points. Johnny's got 6 points. Josh has 4. I've got 2. I don't think the Rams win. I think they played with their food too much with Chicago. And I say that as if Chicago is food. They're not, but they played with their food too much against Carolina and Chicago. They barely escaped both. Seattle just appears to be on another level. I know Zach Charbonnet is out now. That's a big deal. But I think Seattle, especially at home, probably finds a way. Like, I think Sam Darnold, no matter how much of a blowout that game was against San Francisco, just the confidence in getting him a playoff win, that may be all he needs. And the confidence that they just beat LA not that long ago.
I thought his arm was more hurt than, like, based on reports. They said he didn't throw after he tweaked his oblique during practice.
Yeah, you would have no idea.
Like, oh, man, shoot, maybe the 49ers actually win. I started thinking they might. And then, of course, the 49ers, I don't think, had another tight end by the end of the game that they could put out on the field. Like, brutal. But yeah, that defense at home, crazy.
Oh, man. Yeah, they've got plenty of skilled playmakers everywhere, too. Like Cooper Kupp, JSN,
Aaron,
running backs.
Do you think the NFC title game is the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Josh? Yeah, me too. Okay, everybody thinks that. Cool.
Yeah. I do.
Like, I don't know how it's not. Like, really. Only because Bo's hurt, too, by the way. Like, if Denver has Bo Nix, I very much feel like Denver would be capable of beating either of those teams, but not New England.
Yeah, we'll see. Probably. Maybe we'll get a Seahawks Patriots rematch. How fun would that be?
That, you know what? That would actually be like cathartic for Seahawk fans.
Well, hopefully,
if they do what they should in that matchup.
Yeah. So we also picked last week, more recently, we picked which college basketball teams would stay alive, undefeated, the longest. And at the time that we picked, there were, I believe, 5 or 6 teams that were undefeated. Well, Miami was down 3 with only a couple seconds left in regulation. Their winning streak seemed like it was going to come to an end until this happened.
Suter, here's a 3 from the wing. No good. Tipped away. Elmer for 3. Go! Oh! You gotta be kidding me! And we are heading to overtime. Woo!
Gotta love a student broadcast. Shout out to the students in Miami who got a great call in a game, and a 3-pointer that tied the game against Buffalo in overtime. More heroics ensued for the Red Hawks. They hang on to their undefeated season against Buffalo. We had a couple teams drop off. Iowa State loses twice, actually, this week, so they're no longer undefeated. And then, I don't remember.
Vandy lost twice.
That's right. Vanderbilt lost twice. So when the dust settled, miraculously, all 3 of our picks are the 3 remaining undefeated teams. This will never happen ever again, us being this correct.
When that happened, and after Wild Card Weekend, all of our Super Bowl picks were alive, which we didn't think would last. I was feeling pretty good about us. Like, at that point, I'm like, wow, guys, great! What a start to the season.
Yep. All right, we're gonna make some more picks this week. We're talking the Australian Open, which technically started a couple days ago. I thought about going with my normal routine of Alcaraz and Coco Gauff. It's done well for me in the past, but here's the problem. I'm down by a lot. So I gotta do something, try to do something different, try to get scratch and claw some points. So I'm going to go Jannik Sinner, and on the women's side, I'm going to go Anisimova, just to shake things up. Just pure gut, no brain, barely any heart, just gut, stomach.
Hey, Johnny, can you go? I forgot to pick. I'm looking.
That's okay. I also am going to go with Sinner. I'm slightly concerned with myself for picking Sinner. And you'd be like, why on earth would you think that? Like, he's won the last 2 Aussie Opens. That's why. Like, at a certain point, you just kind of expect Alcaraz to knock him off, like, because these two are just trading blows. But Sinner just seems to be slightly better on the hard court down in Melbourne. So I have to agree with Aaron and pick Jannik Sinner. He's the odds-on favorite, number 2 overall in the world. Given him and Alcaraz, it really doesn't matter which one of them's ranked 1 or 2 at the moment. Those are the 2 best. And I'll be stunned if somebody else is in the final against those 2. And then I will be going with, which I don't think Arena Sabalenka's actually ever worked out for me. Like, I've picked her so many times in these picks, and she's one of my favorite women's tennis players to watch, and she just only wins when I don't pick her. So I apologize in advance. I would like you to win. Please win. So I'm being boring and picking the 2 odds-on favorites, but I really believe that they're going to win. And she's she's a heavier favorite on the women's side than Sinner is, but that's because you have Sinner and Alcaraz, of course.
I'm going to go ahead and switch to the Alcaraz Goff pick from Aaron and transitive property it into me, because I believe I may have already picked Sinner last time we did this, but I can't because I work at a church and I can't pick a guy named Sinner.
Right.
Come on. Can't. Not allowed. Illegal. So Alcaraz Goff. I'm gonna just move it one on our sheet, one click down from Aaron to Josh.
All right. I like it. Also, Indiana Miami does happen tonight, so there's also some points I think up for grabs for someone. Not me, so I don't care. But
no, Aaron, me and Josh both picked Indiana to lose.
Oh,
so I already added those points.
All right, great.
Those points have already been added for the runner-up points. Me and Josh both possess them, so we're all good there.
Okay, sounds good. Well, listeners, let us know who you want to pick. Well, that too. Who you think is going to win the Australian Open. You can hit us up on Twitter at Fifth Goal Sports.
The guys spent hours scrolling social media, and they found some pretty dumb stuff. Now they want to talk to you about it.
Oh, by the way, I did find there is bowling in Dave & Buster's. Woo. Importantly, it's half off on Wednesdays as of 5 years ago.
That coupon still spends. Let's go.
Good luck. It's time for What We're Following.
Well, I want to pick things up where I left him off last week. It's doom and gloom. Blue Jackets fired their coach, have lost a bunch in a row. You know what? It's amazing how much can change in a week. Blue Jackets, best team in hockey right now. You argue with a wall. But they have won they have won 3 in a row since adding a new coach, some renewed optimism. Johnny and I were in attendance. If things go well, Johnny and I can say we were in attendance for the first game of the new era for the Columbus Blue Jackets, with Rick Bowness
There at the beginning.
manning the ship. So far, so good, including
It's the equivalent.
and I'm ashamed to admit this, but this is just the real stat that's in front of me. The Blue Jackets beat the Pittsburgh Penguins 4-3 in a shootout on Saturday. It is the first time in franchise history that the Blue Jackets win in Pittsburgh 2 times in the same year. Gross.
Wow.
But you know what? We're the best team in the NHL now, so that's just the kind of things we do.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Listen, this is the equivalent of I've been seeing this, the past few weeks in lieu of like actual hype for the college championship. People posting their photos at Indiana, game 1 of the Signetti era. This is your version of this. You got to see the Blue Jackets before everyone else realized, oh, best team in hockey. Congratulations.
Yeah. So that's good. We're going to move from positive to very negative because baseball is not in a great spot right now. If you missed it, if you missed it, the
the CEO of
Dodgers
baseball
signed
how
Kyle
it was
Tucker
going.
to a pretty, luxurious contract. Why not defer more money?
Of
Who
course, why
cares?
not?
The Mets signed Bo Bichette. Someone put it very well this way. It's actually at Nick Wilson Says on Twitter. And I bookmarked this because when he said this, I'm like, yeah. I think he's on 92.3 The Fan in the Bowling Green, Ohio area. He said the infuriating part of this is that 65% of baseball fans have felt this way. And this way meaning, hey guys, this is unfair. How are we the Reds, or how are we the Rays, or how are we the Pirates? I mean, whatever, mid to lower market team.
Insert normal team.
Right. How are we supposed to compete with that? So he says the infuriating part of this is that 65% of baseball fans have felt this way for a long time, but it didn't matter to baseball until teams like the Yankees and the Red Sox and maybe the Padres felt this way too. And that's where we're at. So basically the CBA is due at the end, or we need to renew this thing at the end of the 2026 season. So everyone's just kind of preparing for a lockout for the 2027 season already, which is just not a fun place to be when you're just like, and we've been thinking this for a while now, when you're over a year away from a 2027 season starting and everyone's just kind of come to the agreement of like, yeah, probably no baseball this year. Like, that's rough. I've never been a huge salary cap guy in baseball. I think I'm there now. Like, come on. Mm-hmm. Like salary floor, sure. There's other things.
Salary cap, salary floor.
Well,
both. Like, and I would prefer the NBA version where it's not a hard cap. Like, if you're the Dodgers and you have tons of money that you bring in, okay, great. If you want to spend it, if you want to pay some luxury tax, knock yourself out. The Reds will never. The Reds will continue to be a cheap franchise because they've got cheap ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron, could we at least eliminate and this again, because this goes back to the college football thing. Some of the most infuriating aspects of this is, okay, obviously some people, a salary floor, a salary cap non-starter. Here's a very simple help though. It doesn't solve everything, but almost everybody would agree on it. No deferred payments.
Yeah.
You have to pay
Cash
it.
on hands. You have to be liquid with that.
Yeah, right. It doesn't all have to be up front. That's the point of the contract. But I can't sign a 5-year contract with somebody and basically only pay them in the 5th year.
Right.
That's ridiculous. And there has to be some MLB legislation breaking that. The Dodgers have to actually be paying players now for acquiring them, not just in the future.
Yep.
And I think that's part of the infuriation because if they had to pay all of these guys now an equitable amount, they couldn't. They couldn't. They could not be doing this no matter, or if they did, wow, they would be spending so much more money really to be doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah.
To your point, I think that would also be a very reasonable, easy rule to have to help right off the bat. That's not even a salary cap, salary floor thing.
No.
Yeah. My final thing, I'll end. We'll sandwich the bad with the good. So good on the front end, Blue Jackets best team in hockey. Bad, baseball being poorly run. Good, Jamaican bobsled team. Winter Olympics, we're so back. Yep. I
can't wait for picks of the week to be Winter Olympics.
Yeah, we are feeling very Olympic today. We've qualified 3 sleds for the 2026 Winter Olympics. That's a 4-man team, it's a 2-man team, and it's a monobob. Mika Moore, shout out her. I cannot wait, guys. We're just under 3 weeks away from curling. It's all I want. That's all I want.
That's all we've ever wanted.
Yeah.
I have so many other things I would like to follow. The Dallas Department of Transportation completely shut down the main artery through downtown over the weekends and then rebuilt the bridge. And it's open this morning. They shut down the most congested part of Dallas with hundreds of thousands of cars going through and reopened it in a weekend, and that's kind of cool. And I'm gonna be long term figuring out how the heck they did it. But literally the like 3 hours, or sorry, no, it was Tuesday. So the day after we recorded, at like noon my time, I get the text from friends. I get the ESPN alert. Tomlin quits. Not fired, quits. And man, what a interesting legacy that he has left at Pittsburgh. On one hand, he, of all the coaches that have more than at least 10 playoff games under their belt, that's 39 of them. Mike Tomlin is 8-12, sixth worst out of the group. He's 33rd on this group of 39 in the playoffs. But past Roethlisberger, he's taken Mason Rudolph. He's had 500 and above seasons with Kenny Pickett, with that weird Russell Wilson, Justin Fields thing we tried last year, with Mason Rudolph again, with all of these weird combinations. He has taken some, as history has kind of come out, some real bummers of teams, and basically willed them into a 500 or better season. And it's crazy. That deserves respect. He has not been shut out since 2006. Most other teams have been shut out since then. It's this weird, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Literally every other team except the Ravens have been shut out since 2006, except for Tomlin. It's a crazy stat. But then his coaching tree is non-existent. Most of the first round, most of the draft picks they've gotten, never re-ups their contracts. There was no development to speak of. So it's this weird mixed legacy that, like, it's not, we can all talk, I mean, I've said this on the show plenty, he's clearly not the guy. And I stand by that. He wasn't the guy to get to the next level. But man, it's not like it wasn't an impressive resume at the end of the day to go, this is, the Steelers had weird rosters past like some of those early amazing ones. Again, defensively fantastic. But now you have, it's such a, I'm still processing because it is such a mixed bag of like, this is an incredible stats, and then why are you 7 consecutive blowouts in the playoffs? And I'm going to count the Texans as a blowout. If
it's a blowout.
If people were considering, well, if people called it a blowout going into the fourth quarter down by 1, if that's a functional, if people are considering that a functional blowout, which I'm part of that, yeah. It's the weirdest mixture of things. You let Blake Bortles win.
Tim Tebow's
soul. Tim Tebow's only playoff victory comes from one pass. And I have to see that replay every time. Tim Tebow came to
they
speak
put it on
in my
NFL
scenario.
Network once a week, Josh.
Yeah, you guys are like solely
do.
responsible for the circus afterwards the next few years with Tim Tebow.
This is the legacy. You grabbed a defensive-minded assistant, and then you did a defensive bad? How? Don't do this. I'm not going to ever. This happened so long ago. I still have I remember exactly where I was standing in my living room when that stupid pass happened.
It's beautiful.
Stupid. I already have to face the hatred from my friends because I picked a non-Ohio team. I picked a team that in a division that everybody hates everybody else. It's brutal
there's a
out
lot of hate.
there. There's a lot of hate. When the Steelers lost to the Packers, I had to stand by myself and youth group because everybody was on the Packers side.
Yeah,
Can
we didn't
at
all
least
hate
have
Aaron Rodgers
some-
yet.
We didn't learn that it wasn't worth it to like him. Can you at least the Patriots at least have victories? The Patriots are hated and their fan base is insufferable, and at least okay, I'll say Drake May is great. I'll give you that. They at least have the rings to back it up. The Steelers, the last ring they got was the ring the year I decided, yes, I'm going to be a lifelong Steelers fan. Give me a terrible towel. Okay, I'm done.
Hey, come join the
They were
Lions.
you
interviewing
have a
the
Super
Vikings
Bowl.
DC.
Come join the Lions. You've moved. It's been
At
a
least
long
you
time.
have. At least you have a Super Bowl. Being-
Yeah, I know.
I'd love to have one someday.
I'd love to go to one someday.
I lost something once is what
That's
it
right.
sounds like.
That's right. Yep.
Oh,
Okay, I'm gonna
the
mute.
Bengals could lose every game for 5 years if they ever won a Super Bowl. Like, I literally don't care after that. I just want one.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I'm following, this has just turned out, this season has just been Johnny's nerd out session
I love
and
it.
what I'm following, and honestly, as it should be. So, if you're not aware, this year is the 25th anniversary that the Fellowship of the Ring, the first of the trilogy, came out in theaters. If you don't know, I'm 28, so I was 3. So I did not get to see the movies as they came out because they came out 1 year at a time. They filmed them all at once in New Zealand, and then they just released them a year apart. So I was not old enough to watch any of these in theaters, not even close. So in honor of the 25th anniversary, they re-released them in theaters this last weekend, which is so cool. So on Friday, they had The Fellowship. On Saturday, they had The Two Towers. And on Sunday, they had Return of the King. Those were the only times you could do it. And apparently, they made $11 million in the box office just
my.
re-releasing them this weekend. And it was just this weekend. That was it. That's all they had. So I went on Friday as the degenerate, unemployed friend I am at 9 a.m. to watch Fellowship of the Ring, which is my favorite out of the 3. It is truly one story. Like I said, they filmed all 3 at one time. It's one book, really. So it's kind of a hard question, unlike Star Wars, I think, where like those weren't all known ahead of time that you were making them. Where in Lord of the Rings, it was always the 3. So picking your favorite is hard. But anyway, Fellowship is my favorite overall of the 3. And it was just magical to get to watch that, experience that in the theaters. It was super cool. It's my favorite book. It's my favorite movies. I wish I could have watched The Two Towers on Saturday and Return of the King on Sunday. I couldn't. It was actually very hard to get tickets too. So, but all of that said, it was a very cool experience. I absolutely loved it. And also, why weren't more movie theaters doing this? Because it was actually really hard to find tickets. There weren't enough showtimes. There weren't enough theaters doing it. And for one weekend felt kind of insane too. It's like, man, like, I mean, it was cool to do the Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing, but also like maybe do it like for a few weekends, something like that. But we'll stay positive. I had a great time. I ate a whole large popcorn by myself and large soda, and it was the extended editions too. I clarified that. Like, so I sat there with a full
amen, man.
bladder for
I
3.5
was about to ask.
hours.
Yeah.
Mhm. So
Okay.
it was, but it was beautiful. It was a great time.
Nice. Very good. Yeah, they've done that with Star Wars every once in a while, and I had a chance to watch episode 3 in theaters, and I think about that a lot, that I did not do that, and I am sad.
Did you as a kid?
No, I didn't, because I wasn't really into
Oh, my dad pulled me out of school.
that's good parenting. Yeah, that's excellent.
He pulled us out of school to go see a guy burn almost to death in like fourth
Right.
grade.
And to watch someone die of sadness.
Little Johnny.
Right.
Yes. Little
Yeah.
Johnny's like, you can die of sadness? Yes, son.
That's funny.
I think fourth grade is the right year.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I was going to try to segue us out using dying of sadness,
Oh,
but
sorry.
I don't know how. Anyways, listeners, viewers, thanks for being here. By the way, special thanks to YouTube for a bunch of you tuning in. Probably because I not a clickbait title, but I said, does the NFL hate the Buffalo Bills? We talked about it, so therefore not clickbait.
Yes.
But thanks for joining us. If you would like to help us out, you can subscribe on YouTube. That's probably the best way to do it. We are like 100 subscribers away from completely filling up, hypothetically speaking, Fifth Third Stadium, Kennesaw State. That is the first FBS stadium we filled up. We're trying to get all 136 of them. So if you can help us do that, that'd be a lot of fun. Plus, you'll catch all of our content, which we've got a lot of Olympic content on the way. I've been writing a lot today for that. So we are counting down the days literally on this stream. It's going by right now. It's the 16 days until the Winter Olympics. So that's more to come from the Olympics on this podcast, on our YouTube channel, on our other social media channels. So check us out there. Thank you for supporting this show. As always, we really appreciate it. And we will talk to you all next week.